Well, it finally happened! I saw Toy Story 4! It was so fantastic. I really have to do this movie review tonight because I cannot believe how much fun I had with Toy Story 4. I love it so much, so let's get onto it right now! Since I am reviewing Toy Story 4, I think I would like to invite some guests over for this movie review. First of all, I bought this Funko Pop toy of Buzz Lightyear to infinity and beyond, and I brought my teddy bear with me that I made at my university. Her name is Tatiana Phobos, and she is so adorable. So, when I review Toy Story 4, I will be holding these toys with me because these are my special guests for this movie review. So let's do this! Toy Story 4 is a 3D animated film directed by Josh Cooley, and it's developed by the Walt Disney and Pixar company. And it stars the same voices of Tom Hanks as Woody, Tim Allen as Buzz Lightyear, and all the other voice cast return. And you have some new voice actors like Keanu Reeves, Key and Peele, and so many others. So this movie takes place 9 years after Toy Story 3. Andy has left for college, and he has basically left Woody, Buzz, and the other toys to Bonnie, the kindergartner. So in this movie, Bonnie is about to attend kindergarten, and Bonnie has so much anxiety about this new environment that's called kindergarten. And while she's at orientation day, she makes a new toy named Forky, and Forky comes to life and basically interacts with Woody and Buzz. But then later, Forky gets lost, and now you got a Toy Story film. My goodness, this film was just so much fun. I am not kidding.
Bonnie made a friend in class.
Oh, she's already making friends.
No, she literally made a new friend. I want you to meet Forky.
Hi.
Hello. As someone who grew up with the Toy Story franchise ever since he was a little kid, this movie brought back so many childhood memories with a new story with Woody, Buzz, and all the other toys. And I have to say, with the 4th movie in the franchise being this fantastic, I'm proud to say that Toy Story 4 is not a disappointment. There is so much to love from Toy Story 4. Not just the nostalgia, but just how this movie kind of prepares itself to be a little sad, a little funny, but just almost a little bit of everything that you expect from a Disney Pixar film, especially with Toy Story. Now, the best thing I would like to say about this film is that the CG, or the animation, has definitely amped up and gotten a lot better over the years. But in this movie, Toy Story 4, the CGI, or the animation, is probably at its best.
Of a moving vehicle. Let's go! Hey, you gotta go.
You're really able to fall in love with these characters once again, 24 years later since 1995. And that's one of the best things about Toy Story 4, is that some of these characters like Woody, Buzz Lightyear, Jessie, all these characters that you fell in love with as a kid, well, they have returned to the big screen to cheer you up as an adult, young adult, and to cheer up more kids of this new generation, because this is a movie that families are going to love. They're going to pick up on some of the great themes, and this is a film that's definitely worth analyzing, and I'm proud that this movie exists. Actually, in fact, I am very proud that the Toy Story franchise exists in general. My personal favorite thing about Toy Story 4 are the toys. I mean, the toys return, and they're better than ever. Tom Hanks voicing Woody, and then Tim Allen voicing Buzz Lightyear. They do a fantastic job as always. You know, you can tell that they are Woody and Buzz, and they're meant to be Woody and Buzz Lightyear. And I also love all the new voice actors like Keanu Reeves, Key and Peele. They play new characters in the film, which I will not spoil. And I also really love Forky. And each of these new characters are so awesome and unique that you really also fall in love with them. And they also get a lot of funny lines. I am not kidding.
If you think you can take our top prize spot, you're wrong. Dead wrong.
Help me get out of here.
I'll help you. With my foot.
Almost each joke had me laughing so hard. I mean, I could not count how many times I laughed so hard, and that is due to all of the voice actors even putting so much humor into their characters. And another thing I really appreciated from Toy Story 4 was something I was not expecting, and that is the antagonist of the film. The antagonist of the film is actually someone you kind of feel sorry for. I was not expecting this antagonist to be some type of evil person, and the way how the antagonist gets a solution is probably one that is very satisfying. And I will not spoil about how this antagonist gets, its solution, but it's not through like something that you would expect. That's just what I'm gonna say. But the antagonist of this film also had a very good point about toys, and when you see the point of view from the enemy of the film, you're like, wow, you really do feel sorry for this toy and what this toy has been through and what this toy longs for. And the thing that really stands out from the other Toy Story movies is that it's not really cliched. It's a toy or antagonist that has a very good purpose, and even kids and adults can learn from the purpose of that character. And that's how much I love the writing in these Toy Story films, because I feel like each Toy Story film has a special theme, with jealousy from Toy Story 1. Toy Story 2 had, the difference between, like, okay, do you still want to be kept by a new kid, or do you want to be displayed by, in the museum where kids from all over the world and all over generations can cherish you? And then Toy Story 3, we all cried when Annie grew up and went to college and gave up the toys to Bonnie. And in Toy Story 4, it has a lot of themes about, appreciation, anxiety, and those are the type of themes that I was able to catch up, and I was actually able to relate, because the thing I also wasn't expecting was the theme of, like, anxiety, about how Bonnie gets anxiety over attending kindergarten. And when you see her expressions, you can tell how scared she is about the real world. But I think what this film really taught me was, whenever you're facing with anxiety attacks or just fear in general, never be afraid to be creative, because creativity can always be the best cure, just like when Bonnie made Forky because she was feeling so anxious in kindergarten.
You've handled this lost toy life better than I could.
And speaking of Bonnie making Forky, it is very much just like how I made my teddy bear, this guest over here that you're looking at, my bear, Tatiana Phobos. How did I make her, if you may ask? Well, it was finals week at the university, and we had an event where we could make a teddy bear on our own. So I chose this teddy bear because it looked very adorable to me, and I decided to stuff it, and when I gave it a name, I wanted it to be very unique and special to me. And, as someone who was going through so much anxiety over finals at that time, I gave the name to my bear Tatiana Phobos because I wanted to make the bear very special. And I named it Phobos because, if you know, the word Phobos in Greek means fear, like the word phobia. So if you look at Tatiana Phobos, you can't really see her eyes. Her eyes are covered by the fur of the teddy bear, and when I picked it out, it just looked like that. And so I decided to call it Phobos because maybe she's scared of something, and this is the type of bear that you hug whenever you're having anxiety or panic attacks, letting you know that everything's going to be okay. And that's how I made this bear, and that's just very similar to how Bonnie made Forky the toy. So that's a little connection I had with Toy Story 4 so far. As for flaws, there really isn't that many flaws. There are probably some minor flaws with its pacing in a few scenes and some repetition, but honestly those are flaws that you can forgive, and they're very normal flaws, especially for the Toy Story franchise. But nevertheless, I highly recommend Toy Story 4 for almost everybody. Children, young adults that grew up with the franchise, adults. When I watched this movie, I was with a lot of kids and their parents. I was in a packed theater with a lot of kids, and they had a fantastic time, and I had a great time, so I highly recommend Toy Story 4, and despite all those minor flaws, it's a movie that definitely deserves a 10 out of 10 for what it is. Well, that is all for Toy Story 4. That is all I have to say about the movie. I loved it, and I'm glad I was able to bring Buzz Lightyear and Tatiana Phobos as my guest stars for this movie review. So, please go check it out. I highly recommend it, and thank you so much for allowing me to review this movie on a Friday night. Thank you, guys.